thought I had plenty of time, right? And then I was fighting with these lashes. I had no clue how big they were. But anyway, let's get started. Who am I? I'm Garlinda Price, and I'm a real estate broker and owner of Fusion Properties, LLC, and I'm also the CEO of Fusion Insurance. And so what I wanted to get on here to talk to you about tonight, y'all give me 1 second. That pen was worrying me. So I wanted to get on here to talk to you all about tonight was how to have success selling life insurance, right? Life and health insurance, whatever product you choose to sell within or under that umbrella, right? But how to have success doing it both part-time and full-time. So when I started out in life insurance, I started out part-time. I was working about 8 to 10 hours a week. And of the 8 to 10 hours a week that I was working, what am I trying to say? Of the 8 to 10 hours a week I was working, part of that time was actually on the phone scheduling the appointments, right? So that wasn't a full 8 to 10 hours a week holding appointments. So you can easily do this business part-time and have great success. You can easily do this business full-time and have great success. And so what I want to share with you is a lot of times you may not have struggled with this, but I struggled with a this or that versus a this and that. Like you can do this and that. So in other words, whatever it is that you're doing in addition to life insurance, you don't have to stop doing that, right? I own a real estate company, and I felt like I needed to stop selling real estate in order to focus on selling life insurance. But that doesn't necessarily make sense in the beginning, right? Because I need to get my insurance income to match my real estate income, and then it would make sense for me to make that transition full time, right? So now I work insurance about the same amount of time part time. Do both. How I'm able to run real estate business, how I'm able to run the insurance business, and how I'm able to make a decent amount of money for myself in terms of what I want to make for myself and my family part-time, right? So let's get started. So the one thing that you want to do, of course, if you don't have your license, is get your license, right? So a lot of times people think they have test anxiety, right? And that the test is super hard, or maybe you don't have the money for the test. So I want you to reach out to me, and the first 3 things that we're going to do before we give you our free code, because we have a way that you can take the life and health insurance exam for free, the class for free, right? But that's for people that decide they're going to partner with us at the Life Now Insurance Agency as a part of Family First Life. And when you make the commitment that you want to work with us and work with our team, then we're going to give you a code where you get to take the class for free. That free class will allow you to take the life and health insurance class for 2 weeks. That means you have to cram, study, you got to be committed, and you got to hit the ground running. If you say, well, Garlinda, my life is too busy, I don't feel like I could get it completed in 2 weeks, then I also have a code with another company that is the company I went through. Incredible program. I passed the first time, and not because I'm a great test taker, but because it was a good class, and their class was in alignment with the state exam. And so I know a lot of people that have had really great success with that company as well. So you can take that class for $99. So we can save you, normally it's $199, but we have a code where if you partner with us at the Life Now Insurance Agency at Family First Life, then I can share with you the code that will save you $100, right? The class will be $99, no tax or any of that stuff, right? And you have a little bit longer time to take it. But one thing I will share with you is there's a need for speed, right? And what I mean by that is success loves speed. Most people that come and if they're not licensed, which is why I tend to like to hire licensed insurance agents, licensed insurance brokers, because they already have their license, right? And they might not get cogged in the wheel of people that are having to study. And nothing against that, because we have a young man, shout out to Emmanuel Tesfaye, and he just literally took the class in 2 weeks. He nailed it. He passed his exam the first time. He just partnered with our team. He's waiting. He just did his fingerprint and background check. So shout out to him. Super excited for him. He said, I'm going in. I'm going to get it done, and I'm going to make it happen. So you can do it, right? So belief is half the battle. So let's say that you say, okay, Garlinda, what I was going to say is a lot of people that start the class don't finish the class. I can't tell you how many people, and we can track like those that are in the class and where they are in the process. And a lot of people would get started, but for whatever reason, they just don't see it through. And life and health insurance sales have the potential to change your life. They have the potential to change your financial future. Whether you need an extra $500 a month or whether you need an extra $5,000 a month, it has the potential to do that for you and your family if you put in the work. I'm not saying it's easy, because it's not. It's probably one of the toughest businesses I've ever done, right? Why? Not because the insurance part is hard, the emotional part is hard, because you get rejected a lot, you get hung up on a lot, you get yelled at a lot, you get cursed at, you get stood up a lot. And so you've got to have thick skin in this business. If you're tender skin and your feelings are easily hurt, don't come into insurance or real estate, right? Because people are going to hurt your feelings. So, but we can help you through that. That's really a part of training and coaching and things like that. So that's your first step, is you want to get your license and you want to figure out, can I finish it in 2 weeks or do I need a little bit longer? And then that'll determine which class you enroll in. The second thing that you want to decide when you're going to work your life and health insurance business is there's riches and niches. What are you going to focus on, right? Because you can't be everything to everybody, and you can't be a success trying to do all facets of life and health insurance, right? Because when you have your life insurance license, there's term life, whole life, universal life, index universal life, there's annuities, there's final expense, variable whole life. There's so many different products, right? And then when you have your health license, there's dental, vision, long-term care, Medicare supplement, Part A, I believe, because I don't sell that product. There's heart attack, stroke, and cancer policies. There's so many different, there's accidental only policies, right? So there's so many different facets and components and products that you can sell and carry, and there are a lot of carriers. So the second way that I feel like you should focus, that you can have great success in insurance, is decide, what is my focus going to be? Which you may not realize and you may not decide until you get into the business, and that makes sense, right? I didn't know what my favorite products were going to be until I got into the business. And so my first product I started selling, and I feel like selling well, was mortgage protection, right? So that's nothing other than a marketing term for a life insurance product that's attached to the life of someone that owns a home. That's all mortgage insurance protection is, right? I mean, I shouldn't say that's all it is, because it does a lot of great stuff. But that's the basis of what it is. And then based on the fact that we were calling people that own homes, then I sold a lot of whole life products, right? So I felt like 50% of my products were term products and 50% was whole life. So now that I'm with Family First Life, which I completely love, and we'll talk about why, I've changed my focus a little bit. So now my focus is more on whole life and final expense. Why? Because term is a lot harder for people to qualify for when they're over the age of 40 or when they're over 45, because people tend to have more health issues at that point, right? Because there's insulin, there's diabetes, there's oxygen, there's COPD, there's all these different, there's people that have had cancer, there may be people that have had felonies or misdemeanors. And so what you end up finding when you're dealing with people that are over that age is that you need a different product. And what's awesome about being a broker, a life insurance and life and health broker, is I have access to over 15 different companies, right? So I can shop around for my clients to find what they're looking for, see how I can best get them approved, right? Because you don't buy insurance, you do what? You qualify with your health and with your prescriptions, and then your money pays for the insurance, right? But that's not how you qualify. So I have the opportunity to shop around and find for them the best product. So when I came in, again, I started out with mortgage protection. I've transitioned into liking whole life and final expense a lot, but my new favorite product is going to be probably annuities and index universal life. And I won't share with you why. You have to come partner with us and find out why, okay? If you're interested in partnering with my team and interested in talking more about what the insurance industry can possibly do for you and your family, I want you to give me a call at 910-494-7798. My information is also going to be in the description box attached to this video once it finishes processing. And also a Calendly link will be there so that you can schedule an appointment with me. I do book up fast, right? So if you happen to want to schedule an appointment with me and my calendar is booked, send me a text and I can send you a one-on-one appointment, which was scheduled outside of that Calendly link. So we're talking about today how you can have great success selling life insurance part-time or full-time. Okay, so Marvin, will you ask Miriam to check the food? Ask Miriam, tell her she can check it now.
Ask you what?
Tell Miriam she can check it now.
Check what?
The chicken that's on the stove. Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry, I'm cooking Sunday dinner, right? So I put my 16-year-old in charge of it while I was on with you guys because I was already running late, right? So again, if you're just now joining me, I'm Garlinda Price. I'm a real estate broker and owner of Fusion Properties LLC, but I also am blessed to be growing an incredible agency, and I'm the owner of Fusion Insurance. So and we're talking about how you can have success selling life insurance part-time or full-time. So the first thing you're going to do if you don't have your license, we talked about that. You can get your license. And if you decide to partner with myself and my team here at Life Now Insurance Agency with Family First Life, we can give you a code once you decide to partner with us that you can take the class for free. Or if you need more than a 2 weeks time that it takes to study, then we can get you a $100 off code and you can take the class through one of our other other course offerings for $99. So the second thing I said you want to do is when you come into life insurance is you want to pick a niche. You want to decide, am I going to focus on life? Am I going to focus on health? Now there's this great debate, right, amongst all of us that are life insurance agents and life insurance brokers as to which one is best, right? And it's really a matter of personal choice. What's best is what's best for the client. Right? What's best is for the client that you decide to serve. What's best is for the need of the people that are reaching out to you or that you're going to be reaching out to. So one is not better than the other. It all is necessary. I believe that the numbers are 45 million people. No, 45% of people in the United States do not have insurance. So pick one. Doesn't matter, right? You're going to be successful regardless if you serve the people. That is a big saying in insurance, serve the people. So you're going to decide, do I want to focus on life? Do I want to focus on health? And what specific products? And then I share with you what my favorite product was. I just didn't share with you why, because you need to be on our team. That's our secret kind of mojo sauce. So we're not going to share that publicly, right? But when you partner with us, we will show you how to build a hugely successful business. I'm also growing a team across the country. So if you're licensed, I'm going to tell you who I'm looking for. I'm looking for licensed life and health insurance brokers that want to make more money. Period, right? That want to make more money, that want to leverage themselves by growing a team. You don't have to want to grow a team, but if you already have a team and you're like, hey, I should be making more money than this, I want you to call me, because if you have a team, we can talk about starting at a higher comp rate. If you have no experience, it doesn't matter. We can train you. We have a phenomenal education program here at Family First Life. Everyone that is new starts out at a 90% comp, but if you have experience, we can talk about where you and your team's comp would start, or you as their leader, and then we could bring your team on at the comp that we discussed. It is a phenomenal opportunity here. So if your hands are handcuffed, pigeonholed, and tied, and you're not making the amount of money that you want to make, and I talk to people all the time that are like, oh, I wouldn't leave my company. I'm loyal to my company. Be loyal to your family and your bank account. Be loyal to your family and your growth, right? We got into this business to serve people and to make a great income doing it. And so if that's not happening, and that's not happened over the last 3, 5, and 10 years where you are, it's time to create a different business plan. Here, we can help you create a business plan. I can help you create a strategy. Why should you believe that I can do that, right? So I've been in business for 33 years. This is my 33rd year as an entrepreneur. I started out owning, thinking I'd be a jewelry designer, right? And the Lord said differently. Then I started out owning, when I sold jewelry, right? I want to tell you what gives me credibility to say after 33 years of owning businesses, I can help you be successful, right? My very first business was jewelry design. I always thought I'd be a jewelry designer. I sold my jewelry to Nordstrom's department stores. I was carried in all their stores in the DMV. I sold to other boutiques in that area. And I had a successful business where when I was a stay-at-home mom, I would make a great amount of money every month selling jewelry. My husband said, Garlinda, that's a hobby. I was like, what? Clutch the pearls, a hobby? What are you talking about, right? But he was so right. I was so glad I listened to him. He said it in love. The Lord led me into real estate. And I've been blessed to be a real estate broker and an owner for the last 13 years. I've loved this profession. And what happened was I was trying to give my clients to a friend of mine that wanted mortgage protection insurance, and he didn't have time to write the policy. He was busy with his job, and he was like, I just don't have time to do it. He said, you should get your license. 3 times he said that to me. The 3rd time I got my license, and here we sit today. And I was like, where has insurance been all my life, right? So 33 years later, I've had successful businesses, 2 salons, a successful real estate firm, and now growing an incredible agency. And not just a successful firm, the Lord blessed me to earn 6 figures consistently in the real estate market. I know how to build and grow successful businesses because it's a gift from God, right? I'll show you how to do the same thing. It's through no grace of my own. It's the grace of God. Amen. So the third thing that you want to do to have success in selling life insurance and health insurance is, after you get your license, after you decide on what product you're going to carry, you need to get with the right company, right? So the best part about being with us here at Family First Life is everybody starts out at a 90% commission rate. If you're new, we can start at a higher comp, and you can go all the way up to 130% on your own pen. You can go up to 145% if you choose to build a team, and you don't have to do that. But I encourage you, leverage yourself. Right? There are tons of people that have watched you in your life, that have watched you grow successful businesses or have decided to work with you, and they've been looking for the opportunity to work with you, and they're just waiting for you for the chance to invite them, right? And it's always more fun to do something with someone else than doing it by yourself. But you don't have to grow a team. Again, you can write business till Jesus comes back on your own pen. You're going to make excellent money doing it. We have a boot camp that is recorded. We have daily training. All of our carriers have recorded training. We teach different things over here. So whole life, term life, and advanced markets. If you're someone that says, I'm really interested in learning advanced markets, this is the team for you. This is the place for you. There's a home for you here. So that's another reason why you should look at, how you can have success in insurance is you got to know what you're doing, but you got to have someone to show you the way. Right? I've seen a lot of people in business come into different organizations when I was at my practice company, and they would be lost in the sauce. Why? Because there was no one saying, hey, come this way. This is where you go. This is how you do it. But now when someone does tell you the way, and they do show you the way, it's your responsibility for you to do the work. Right? And so what I've seen in insurance, same thing I saw in real estate, is people will see that people are making money. They will see that they're having great success, but then they come in thinking that that's going to be their success. Your success could be even greater or more, but you got to put in the time, right? So that's the fourth thing that you have to do. So the first thing is get your license. The second thing, get your partner with us, get your license. The second thing is decide if you're going to focus on life and health. The third thing is to get educated and get trained. And the fourth thing, be coachable, right? Show up, because showing up is half the battle. So whenever there's a meeting, show up, the one you can attend. You can't be at everything if you're part-time, because it may mean that you have a full-time job, right? But the things that you can attend online that are virtual, the trainings you can attend online that are virtual, the mindset and motivation you can attend online that's virtual, show up. Right? Support and assist the team. I've been blessed to be invited to speak a couple of times, and I'm new, right? But what is it like to be new at FFL? What brought you into the insurance industry? And those things are a blessing, right? So the fourth thing you have to do to be successful in life insurance, part-time or full-time or sometime, whenever you choose to work, is you got to be coachable, right? And so there's a conference coming up. Our national convention is going to be in Miami. All training with Family First Life is free. All conventions are free. The practice company I was with, when there was a convention, they wanted you to buy tickets. Nothing wrong with that, because you got to make your money where you can as a corporation. I'm not a nonprofit, right? As an insurance agent and as a real estate broker, I'm not a nonprofit. You can make your money, right? But they wanted you to buy your ticket, and then if you were in leadership, which I was, they wanted you to buy a pack of 10 tickets, right, to bring people to the convention with you. And the convention would be way over somewhere in East Asia. It was in Denver, but that's a long way away depending on what part of the country that you're in, right? So not only did you have to book hotel, book flight, you had to buy a pack of 10 tickets plus in order to take people with you. Well, I agree that you should take people with you, right? If you're building and growing and leveraging a business and a team, you should take people with you where you're going, because if they see the vision that you see, they're going to be bought in. You're going to build and establish and grow a culture that way. So I'm down for that. I agree with that, right? The other thing that I agree with is that if it's going to be free, I'll take 3. Right? So if you need to buy your ticket for a conference, if you need to get your hotel room for a conference, the fourth thing that you need to do to be successful with us at Life Now Agency and Family First Life is you need to be all in. right? It's okay to be part-time. It's okay to be full-time. It's okay even to be sometime if that's all you got. There's a little bit of time that you're working with, but be there and be committed and be coachable. Show up at the convention. So that's going to be in Miami, Florida. I've never been to Miami, but I'm excited to go. Myself and my husband, right? But it is free. It's 3 days of intense training and success and motivation, free, right? So that's the fourth thing I would share with you. If you want to be successful in life, selling life insurance, selling health insurance, is you have to be coachable and you got to show up because you need to be near the fire. And I want to give a shout out to Christine Austin L. and her incredible husband, Raheem L. And they are building just a phenomenal business across the country. And they show us the way by leading from the front. You want the other chicken cooked too? I can do it when I finish. I got my 16-year-old watching them. Well, yeah, you can go ahead and start it for me. That'll be good. Child, we're trying to finish up Sunday dinner, but I had to get on here with you guys. I kept saying, I should reschedule. No, I'm going to be here, right? So I'm a mom, right? I'm a wife. I'm a mom. I have a teenage daughter. I have a 20-year-old son, and we have a dog, right? So like you, I'm busy. And so that's the fourth thing I would encourage you to do. The fifth thing I would say you need to do in order to be successful as a life and health insurance agent with us on a Life Now agency and Family First Life, set a goal. What is your goal? Right? That's the fifth thing. What is your goal? Now, no, let's go back. That's not the fifth thing. The fifth thing is why. Right? And so I said, get your license. I said, decide on what you're going to sell, life or health. Right? Be coachable. Show up. Right? The fifth thing, and it could be number one. Right? It doesn't have to be number 5. You put them in the order that's important to you. But why are you doing this anyway? Right? I feel like if you don't know the why you're doing something, then any old reason will do, and then you won't be committed to doing it. And I felt like when I first got started selling life and health insurance, it was about the money. And I didn't like that. That didn't feel good to me. Because in the past, when I've done things for money, it never worked out. And what I mean by that is if that's your motivating factor and that's your leading factor, it's too shallow. For me, I'm not speaking for you or for anybody else that'll hear this video later on. It was too shallow of a purpose and a reason for me to do it, because then that means I wasn't committed to other people. And that was when I first got started, right? But now, and so I said, what happened was I had an integrity moment and a moral compass moment that said, okay, girl, Linda, just sit it down. Right? And then once you figure out why you're really doing this, once I figured out why I was really selling life insurance and why I was really selling health insurance and why I really wanted to come into this field, I felt like that's when the Lord led me back to the into insurance with Life Now with Family First Life, because I was with a different company. And my reason, my why for doing this business is because I am a fan of entrepreneurship. I believe in the free trade system. I believe in conscious capitalism. I believe in entrepreneurship and owning your own business. I don't care what it is. You could sell popsicles, lollipop, newspapers. I don't care. But I believe that there are so many people that need an opportunity and that are looking for an opportunity. And I also believe that for my community, right, speaking for me as an African-American woman, there are too many of us that don't have the proper insurances, right? So that became my purpose. That became my why. And that is what leads and drives me. I don't have to drive with the money, right? I don't have to worry about the money, because money is a byproduct of service, right? When you figure out what your why is as to why you really want to do this business, and it can't just be I want to help people. And why do I say that? Because the minute someone cusses you out, right? Because it's going to happen. The minute they hang up the phone, the minute that they close the door in your face, if you go door to door, the minute that you aren't having success on the phone when you're doing telesales, the minute you get stood up on the Zoom, those same people that you wanted to help that don't really want your help, it could cause you to quit, right? So what you have to realize is that there's a life out there, and I get to impact that life of that family on the other side. Right? When that person passes away that I was able to write a policy for, when that person passes away, who are they going to call? Me, the insurance agent. And they're going to say, this happened to our family member. What do we need to do next? And then I get to step up and serve that family as their hero on this side of heaven, because I helped them put something in place. Right? Glory to God. And so it's bigger than the money, right? It has to be based on service, but you have to decide for yourself, what is your why? And my why is because I want to help a bunch of people make a lot of money. Like I want to see people make six figures. I want to see people become millionaires. I want to see people become successful. Why? Because I feel like as an entrepreneur, as a teacher, that's what I was put here to do. Like, even though I'm a licensed ordained pastor, I love to teach. I'm a teacher in my heart, right? And so I just believe that God has purposed all of us to be here for a plan that impacts people for a greater good. And I'll share this with you, then I'll stop rambling. I used to complain about real estate and about how people got on my nerves. Sometimes I was just checking the chat to see if there's anything in there. And I'd be like, Lord, these people getting on my last nerve, right? And he said, well, Garlinda, let me tell you this, right? Let me share this with you. Is that basically what I'm doing when I'm using you to sell a home to someone is you're impacting generations, because if grandma bought a home, her daughter's gonna buy a home, her son is gonna buy a home, her children are gonna purchase a home, because they're gonna do what they saw their family member do. So I get to impact generations of homeowners. I'm blessed to create home ownership for generations, right? I don't get to see, I guess, I'll say 100 years down the road, what happens to that person that bought a house and how it impacted their bloodline. But the Lord said to me, Garland, he gave me a revelation. This is what you get to do as a realtor. You impact homeowners and generations to come, and you should take pride in that instead of complaining about it, right? I shut my mouth. And the same thing with insurance, right? The Lord was like, with insurance, you get to create financial stability in the event of someone's death. You get to help someone build generational wealth for themselves and for their family. You get to bless someone with living benefits that may not know that they're getting ready to be impacted by a health crisis. You get to help someone protect their money, right, that they may be losing in the stock market or in a 401k. You get to show them and teach them about vehicles that they can roll that into. You get to impact people financially now, in the future, and for generations to come. It is a worthy endeavor, right? And so when your why becomes a worthy endeavor, you'll stick with it when it gets hard. So how else can you be successful as a life insurance agent and a health insurance broker, right? Or agent, I should say. One, become a broker. Make sure that you partner with the right company, that you don't just have that one product, those two products, those three products you can sell, because then if that person doesn't fit into that product, what are you gonna do? You got two choices. You're going to be immoral, right? And force and pigeonhole them into the product and say whatever you have to say to get them into that product, which is not the right thing to do. Or you're going to have to walk away and say, you know what? I don't have anything that can serve you. And now you have to walk away feeling bad. The fact, one, you couldn't serve them, but two, you left money on the table. Three, they're going to go buy the product from someone else that was able to fit their need. So you're limited in what you can do. You want to make sure that when you go to work with a company, that's the fifth thing, right? Picking the right company could be your first thing, right? It just depends on the order that you're putting things in, whether you're licensed or not. But you're with a company that all they can sell is one specific product type. What happens when you, let's just say it's a term product, right? And you meet someone that's 53 years old and they want a term product, right? Well, education-wise, you would already know that I probably don't want to sell a 53-year-old a term product, right? Unless it's attached to a product that's my favorite that we're not going to talk about unless you partner with us, right? So, but I don't even think they can get that product, right? Because a 53-year-old can't get term, right? For most companies, because they're too old. So now if all you have is a term product and you have a 53-year-old, I'm 53, right? And so if someone says to me, well, Garlinda, I sell term products, but at 53, my mindset's different. I want something that's going to grow my money. I'm at now, right? I want to grow wealth now with the money that I've already set aside and saved. I want to be able to establish, different things for my children now. So my focus and thought process is not on a policy that's going to end in 20 years or 25 years or 30 years. But if that's all that person has to offer, I wouldn't be their client. And there's a way more of us and way more baby boomers than there are of a younger generation, right? Think about it. How many baby boomers a day? Is it 10,000? So think about who your client is, right? So that's the fifth thing that you want to think about, and that's the fifth or sixth, right? Is what's the company that I'm going to partner with that's going to allow me to prepare and position myself to grow into the future, where I can not only have ownership today, I can have ownership rights in the future. You want to think about that. I don't have territories, right? So work with a company where you're not pigeonholed that I can only work in Virginia or I can only work in Florida and only in a neighborhood in Florida, only in a neighborhood in Virginia. The world is your entire oyster. What I mean by the world, I mean the United States and its outer line territories, right? U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Guam, Hawaii, right? U.S. Virgin Islands. You can sell anywhere in the United States. So you want to partner with a company where you're not limited in your income. We have 1 minute left. So I want to hurry up and tell you what is another way that you can be successful in life insurance and health insurance. Again, is to set your goal. I think I got away from that. Decide on the amount of money that you want to make coming in. Decide on the amount of the number of families that you need to serve and that you want to serve to hit that goal. We can help you with that blueprint, that strategy, and that plan. And then once you decide on that, hit the ground running. Get on the phone, which we will teach you. Get past fear. Memorize scripts, right? And determine how you're going to get number 7. We'll leave it that. How are you going to get your business? I have so many people because I do recruiting every week, right? And specifically on Indeed and a lot on social media. And I'll have people schedule for an interview. And the first thing they ask me is not how can I be successful in insurance, is how much are leads? Stop with that question, right? You're going to have to figure out a way to build and grow your business regardless, whether it's with leads, whether it's your warm market, whether it's your sphere, whether it's door knocking, whether it's social media, whether it's doing mailers. I ask every person that tells me, well, I don't want to buy leads. I'm not buying leads. And I don't say that you have to buy leads, but I think there's this big barrier, there's this big pink elephant in the room called a lead, right? That people limit their positioning and they limit and miss opportunities because they've either had a bad experience or they listen to somebody else's story that's not going to be their story, right? And then they make their decision based on what somebody else said. Make a decision based on facts for yourself, right? So here at the Life Now Agency at Family First Life, we are not telling people to go and spend $500, $1,000, $2,000 a week on leads. That is not the story that we're telling, and it's not the truth, right? But if you tell me you don't want to invest in leads, my question is going to be to you, how do you plan to grow a business? This isn't a job, right? So the 6th or 7th way, depending on the order that you've been putting everything in, is how do you plan to grow your business and to be successful? Because remember we said you got to be coachable and trainable, right? So you will need leads, right? And so I think it's super important to say, okay, if I'm going to invest in leads, what is that budget going to look like? And if I don't have the money to start with leads, where am I going to start? You could start with your warm market, with your friends and family. And I hear a lot of people say, oh, my friends and family don't support me. My friends and family aren't going to buy anything. Do you need some new friends and family? Who does your hair? Who cuts your hair? Where do you bank? Where do you shop at the grocery store? Who's your neighbor? Who lives 5 houses to the right, 5 houses to the left, 5 apartments above and beside, 5 apartments above and below, right? You get to decide who your client is going to be, and you get to decide how you're going to build and grow this business, but you cannot do it with no inventory. You cannot do, it's like walking into a store that's supposed to sell groceries, clothes, or what have you, and all the shelves are empty. Or you want ice cream and a machine is broken. I just say that as a joke. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So if you're going to come into insurance, life and health insurance, and you want to be successful, and you say you don't want to buy leads, tell me how you're going to build and grow a business. And what I will tell you for Life Now Agency Family First Life, we do not push all that spending ungodly amounts of money on leads. But what we will teach you is how to grow a business if you're coachable, if you're trainable, if you show up and you do the work. We will show you how to build and grow a business. And you decide, okay, this is my goal. This is the time I have to put in. And when you say this is the time you're going to put in, do the work. I'll share with you a little bit about how my schedule works. And so I only work insurance right now about 10 hours a week, right? And I do that through a combination of my warm market, all that I've met on social media. And they're my friends from social media. I created this little script and text that I send out to everybody, right? And when you partner with us, we'll share that little script and text with you. I've purchased leads, right? And I have not spent a lot of money on leads. It was an amount that I felt comfortable with, and I call those leads because we want to get what we call resolution. So if they don't pick up the phone, they're getting a note. If they don't answer the note, they're getting a text, right? But I'm going to keep working those leads until I get resolution. And from the people that I've reached out to on social media that I've been blessed to write policies for, I asked them for referrals. You can build a referral-based business here. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, but don't just listen to the things that you read or hear on social media and think that that is the gospel, right? Figure out for yourself. Well, how are you going to figure out for yourself? You're going to give me a call at 910-494-7798. Again, my contact information will be in the description box. Let's talk about your career as a successful life and health insurance agent. And I'm going to end on the fact of who am I looking for? I'm looking for people with a team. I'm looking for producers. I'm looking for people that either have experience or were licensed before, got out of the business, partnered with a different agency before, or even maybe you were with Family First Life before, but you left and didn't, you didn't get the success that you wanted, or you're with another insurance agent, or you're captive. Maybe you do hair, right? My background is in hair. My incredible sales manager, Christine L., she was a hairdresser, right? And so maybe that's your background. Maybe you do alarm sales. Maybe you are a Kirby salesman, right? Her incredible husband, he told us he was a Kirby salesman and that he did well. Right? So it doesn't matter your background. You could be a stay-at-home mom, but you got to have a coachable winning attitude and mindset that I came to win. I want to be successful. We can help you do the rest. Right? So again, I want you to reach out to me. I'm going to have all my contact information down below. We are growing an incredible team. We're not slowing down, and we're here to help you. Now, we won't babysit you, but we'll handhold you. Right? And we will say, this is the way. Let's go get it together. So God bless you guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Again, I'm Garlinda.